Adam, my favorite kill in this movie was with the in the hospital with the strong magnet. I didn't expect like nipple and genital piercings to come into play. They did in the best way. What was the biggest difficulty in pulling off that scene? Because it's such a spectacle, and the crowd was just going wild when I saw it.
Wow. Yeah, the MRI was such a fun scene to figure out. I think the biggest difficulty was to balance the tones and to make it unpredictable. Because, Final Destination, people are going to die, but we always wanted to make it unpredictable so that you were at the edge of your seat. And in that scene, you have this heart to heart between the brothers that we really wanted to be heartfelt, really wanted you to root for them and feel their, connection, while at the same time making things really unpredictable. Bobby's next on the list, but Eric goes first. Those sorts of twisting things back and forth was a really hard thing to do throughout the movie. But it was really important for us to make the audience on the edge of their seat so they didn't know what was going to happen next.
And Zach, my second favorite was the garbage truck scene because you really circumvent expectations. How was it doing that misdirect? Because like the series, plays into its own tropes, and it's very knowing. So how is it leaning into that, but not going too far to where you're like self-parody?
Yeah, I think we were really excited by the idea of telling the audience exactly what's going to happen and then walking past it and the audience not really knowing that they've been told exactly what's going to happen and then it happens way in the background because Final Destination's never really done that before. Usually the set pieces are built amongst all these carefully done inserts that interconnect in a Rube Goldberg. But to do a Rube Goldberg in the background of a wide shot, uh, where the audience isn't really necessarily looking, and then suddenly they realize it's going down, just delighted us. And we were so happy that that kind of execution ended up really, really working because this it's always tricky as a filmmaker. You build this little carefully constructed experience, especially when it's a surprise. It's difficult to know, will it surprise people, because you already know how it's going to go, so you don't know if it'll be surprising. But we delighted, and it was so much fun to see audiences start to point at the corner of the screen knowing that this like Rube Goldberg's going to go back in the background. And when it comes to Julia's death, we were very excited to have a shot where you kept expecting us to cut away, and it just keeps going and keeps crushing her and then eventually her arm rips out. Like, just like every second you go, they've got to cut away now. No, they're not. Oh, they're gonna cut away now. Oh, they're not. And like, just that was like very perverse of us, but it was something we were really excited to kind of execute, to kind of show some people something that they can't believe that they're watching.
Yeah, the sickos love that, myself included. So it was a fun call. And Adam, I wanted to ask you because you talked about 10. How is it making us care about these characters, but then we also celebrate when they die in a ridiculous way? How is it threading that needle? Because it's a very particular, place that these films hold.
Absolutely. Yeah. We personally, as movie lovers, love all the feelings. We love a movie that gives you all the feelings. So we tried really hard to balance scares and suspense with also humor and with heart, because this is the first Final Destination about a family. So it was really important to us that the family actually care about each other, actually have strong relationships, and that the deaths mean something. And it was our thought from the very beginning that if you cared about the characters and they cared about each other, that the death scenes would be even more suspenseful and more horrific. So that was kind of what we were trying to do. At the same time, we knew we couldn't go full Hereditary and have this be a movie about family grief, because Final Destination has an urgency and a fun to it. So that's what made the balancing act of tone so tricky, but also so much fun, to kind of uh, figure out.